Pokemon Black and White, arguably the most polarized Pokemon games to date when it comes to loving them or hating them. But whether you like them or not, there's some pretty weird glitches in these games. There are probably 100,000 super lame glitches, and a bunch of them that require online play, which you can't do anymore. But here are some of the glitches that I found to be the least lame. One last thing before we kick this off in case you're new, there are a whole bunch of other weird glitches videos on this channel, like Pokemon Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Pokemon X and Y, Super Smash Bros., Five Nights at Freddy's, Minecraft, and a bunch more. Not to mention, one of my favorite things to do on this channel is Let's Plays. Okay, let's go. If you've heard of one glitch in Pokemon Black and White, this is probably the glitch you've heard of. The good old surf on people's face glitch. One of the locations you can do this is under the village bridge onto the scientist on the right. The person has to be right on the shoreline for this to work. So once you're going at maximum velocity, just make a sharp turn and boom, you're inside the scientist. You can still turn around and even start surfing again if you want. You can check to see if you're going at the maximum velocity by the amount of white foam coming out of your butt. This isn't enough. That's a little bit more. And there we go. It needs to be at that speed. In this case, we don't have enough room to get the velocity we need to get onto this old man. But even if we did, we wouldn't be able to surf on his face unless we made a sharp turn. Whether on purpose or not, Gen 5 Black and White allowed the move Assist to take moves from unhatched eggs. There's a bit of a debate whether this was intentional or not. In this case, the only Pokemon in the party were Purloin and the egg. I found out that the Pokemon in the egg had the move String Shot and Ember because Assist was able to pull them from the egg despite not being hatched. You can use this as a way to sneak a peek while you're breeding. This one is a simple case of a mismatched image. You can see here that Rock Smash is a fighting move, but the TM icon appears as a Rock type TM, which is easy to distinguish when compared to an actual Rock type TM like Rock Tomb. Notice how that TM icon was the same color as the TM icon for Rock Smash, which is a fighting TM. In the Relic Castle on BF3, there's a break in the wall boundary that you can go into for no apparent reason. Whenever I see something like this, it makes me think that there may have been some original plan for this hole in the wall that was scrapped somewhere in development. I start thinking of all the possibilities that it could have been. Maybe it was supposed to be a portal to Narnia, or to a land far, far away, or a portal to Gen 2. Right when you enter the Soros Gym, there are two trainer pedestals, and in front of those two trainer pedestals are two tiles that can't be stepped on for some reason, even though there is no reason that you shouldn't be able to do so. You can see here that I'm blocked by some invisible force. Yep, that's all for that one. Trick Room reverses the move order so that Pokemon with lower speed stats attack first. There is a glitch where if Trick Room is used and you have a Pokemon with an effective speed of more than 1809, it will ignore the effects of Trick Room and attack before the slower Pokemon. In this case, Sigilyph sets up Trick Room, I switch out to Zipstrika and use Agility enough times to raise my speed high enough. By doing this, I'm able to overcome the effect of Trick Room via glitching. It's pretty handy to know if you were going to do some battles and want to mess with a friend that uses Trick Room all the time. There's an inconsistency with the lights on the ground in front of the southern gate of Nimbasa. You can see here that the shadow appears under the lights of the top 5 lights, but the southernmost one displays a shadow as normal, which is on top. This one might actually be pretty useful for all you potential speedrunners out there. It'll allow you to skip the last trainer in the Soros Gym. I'll show you how to glitch through a rock. Starting from here, go left, up and spin, right, up, right and spin, up, right. This stone prevents you from leaving the mini path, this stone prevents you from leaving, but this stone you can clip to the rock and end up here. It actually works for the stone below it as well. Then go up, left, right, down and spin, left, down, left and spin, up, and ta-da! You've bypassed the last trainer and shaved off a whole minute on your speed run. If you forget the sequence, you can always use this video as a reference. To get to the Nacrene Gym Leader, you have to solve a mini puzzle and ultimately move a bookshelf to go into an underground chamber. If you stand on this stool after moving the bookshelf, save, and restart the game, you'll be able to interact with the bookshelf even when it's not there once you're back in the game. The bookshelf will say the same thing as it did when it was still in front of you. This is the bookshelf for a Pokemon. The biology of Tepig. Do you want to read this book? It describes the biology of Tepig. Flame burns inside the body and it gives off flame from its nostrils. When it's not well, it can only give off smoke. At the end of the passage, you'll see the memo from the gym leader who wrote all the clues. If you don't save on that stool while facing the direction the bookshelf used to be and restart your game, nothing will happen. Usually when you're in a gym battle and you've got them down to their last Pokemon, the battle music will change to the advantage music that is triggered by the trainer coming out and talking. It sounds like this. If you use a multiple turn move like Rollout that lasts until the last Pokemon, it won't allow the trainer to come out and talk, and thus never trigger the music to change. If you go into the Opelusa Gym, just before you get on what looks like Snake Way to head to King Kai, you'll be able to airwalk on the 2 spaces to the sides of the ramp that bring you up to the higher plane. If you try to airwalk off the squares on the top or the bottom, it won't work. It'll only work on that transitional ramp in between. It might look like you've jumped down onto the floor below, but you won't be able to walk around, so that's why I'd say you're probably still up in the air, you just can't move. Maybe this is because the transitional ramp was kind of a rare situation and they didn't really think to map it to anything because it comes up so infrequently. In Driftvale City, there's an old lady that talks 1 speed lower than everyone else. I'll give you something to compare it to by talking to this random guy first. He speaks the normal speed that any character in the game would speak when put on the lowest setting. I put it on the lowest speed to show that she can speak even slower than the game would normally allow. Some people think that her character is missing a large chunk of code and that's why she's talking so slow, but other people think that it's just because she's an old lady, which would make sense if all old people, all old ladies even, in the game spoke that slow, but she's not the only old lady in the game, but she is the only old lady that speaks at that speed. Here's another old lady that's in a different city but has the exact same character sprite as the one who talks really slow, except this old lady talks at the same speed as everyone else in her text speed setting. Imagine if you could control everyone around you with something as easy as pushing the B button. Well, in Pokemon Black and White, you can. In the Celestial Tower, on the 3rd and 4th floor, all the trainers will move to the rhythm of your B button pushing beat. You can pump out such classics as the Macarena, We Are the Champions, or just make them all twerk. Now, if only I could mind control you to push that like button for buying this game, starting from scratch and completing every possible piece of it just to show you glitches in one single video. Did it work? Okay, whatever. Next one. In Nacrene City, there's a cafe called the Cafe Warehouse, and it has another fragment of something that may have been signs of an earlier plan and development that were scrapped. If you walk into the cafe, turn around, but make sure you're on the final tile before exiting the warehouse, it will say, "Looks like a cabinet full of Pokemon goods," when there's nothing there. There are 3 tiles that allow you to exit the building, and the only one that doesn't work is the one on the far left. Here's a pretty cheap way to make a Pokemon unable to fight back in a doubles or triples battle. Choose the Pokemon you want to disable and use Sky Drop on it. Immediately have your other Pokemon use Gravity. The Gravity will pull them both back down, but now your opponent's Pokemon who got Sky Dropped can't do anything. I use Agility a bunch of times here so I don't accidentally knock him out, so you can see that the Pidove is unable to fight back. You basically just turn their Pokemon into a punching bag. You can keep switching out the secondary Pokemon and the glitch will remain intact. But as soon as you switch out the Pokemon that use Sky Drop, the battle will go back to normal and the Pidove here uses Quick Attack, finally. This one is only available in the Japanese version and it's one of the most interesting visual glitches in the games in my opinion. I've left a link to the original video by Nye in the description below. If you lose to the trainer Lady Colette in the Nimbasa Gym, when you come back to face her again, she will be waiting for you, but this time, instead of waiting for her to appear from the train, she will already be waiting for you on the track, and then she gets run over by the train. First time I saw this, I laughed pretty hard. Don't forget there are a ton more videos on this channel, and if you'd like me to continue making more of these types of videos, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and leaving me a comment down below with a suggestion for the next one. One of the things I like doing most on the channel is uploading my music, which you can check out here, and my Let's Plays. There are many more episodes of Pokemon Adventures Red Chapter on the way, because that game is a ton of fun to play, and I know you guys have been asking for it constantly in the comments and on Twitter. It's coming. There's a whole bunch of episodes coming, so just stick around, and they will all be there. If you haven't watched the other videos and you don't know yet, it follows the story of the Pokemon Adventure manga, which is awesome. With so much going on the channel, I definitely suggest subscribing so you get the best of it all. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in Pokemon Adventures Red Chapter, because that's what I'm going to play right now. Bye!